Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to Bitcoin!
That's a nickname in its own way, but we came up with a new couple of words for corn.
Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Can you quickly tell everybody what a rug pull is?
Bitcoin stands for freedom, sovereignty, and independence from government, coercion, and control.
Yo, shade of lay, all you mother froggers out there. How are we doing? You know, GMoney leaves for a week and all hell breaks loose. You got Bitcoiners fighting Bitcoiners. You got Q-tards fighting Q-tards. You got Magadonians fighting Magadonians. You got Elon fans fighting Elon fans. And so welcome to the jungle. Welcome to the Wild West. The KFAB is in full swing, guys, and it's looking spicy. My spidey senses are tingling, which that's a good thing because we've been kind of in a lull. We've had some, exciting price action, but we're ready to burn this old antiquated financial system to the ground. And this is just the start, my friends. This is just the start of it. But let's just do a quick recap. Elon and Trump are on the same team. Everybody calm your titties down. It was just like a week ago. By the way, a week ago when Trump gave Elon the golden key to the White House, Elon said it was day 134. Okay, we all know Covfefe, right? We all know 315, 135, whatever. And it was actually, by the way, it was it was, I think, it was 2 days before 531, 1 or 2 days before 531. Elon says it's 134th day, but it was actually the 131st day. And then all this stuff starts afterwards. So it's just super, super weird. So let's listen to Elon real quick. Let's see what happened, what Trump told him. And let's just go back like a week. Like, I know you guys have, some of you have like the attention span of like a gnat, so you don't even understand what happened last week, but let's just revisit.
Well, let me say perhaps a few words that this is not the end of Doge, but really the beginning. My time as a special government employee necessarily had to end. It was a limited time thing. It's 134 days, I believe, which ends in a few days. So, so that it comes with a time limit. But the Doge team will only grow stronger over time. The Doge influence will only grow stronger. It's I liken it to sort of Buddhism. It's like a way of life. So it is permeating throughout the government, and I'm confident that over time we'll see $1 trillion of savings and a reduction in $1 trillion of waste and fraud reduction. The calculations of the Doge team thus far, in terms of FY25 to FY26 delta, are over 160 billion, and that's climbing. We expect that number will probably go over 200 billion soon. So I think the Doge team is doing an incredible job. They're going to continue doing an incredible job, and I'll continue to be visiting here and be a friend and advisor to the president.
Okay, so he says the 134th day, which was the day before May 31st. Okay, we know May 31st is the date Trump tweeted Covfefe, but it was really only 131. So why would he say 134? Meaning 135 would have meant 531. Anyways, there's some weird synchronicity going on there with Covfefe. And then, all of a sudden you get what's happening today. But look, we've been staying on Signal ever since. We're not here to cover the Elon Trump feud. This isn't what it's about. I'm just pointing out that simple fact that everything is going RE right after that, right? And here's Elon talking about the wake up, the real wake up, the real great awakening.
Yeah, we've got this enormous federal budget deficit. And it's a $2 trillion deficit. It keeps growing. Our interest payments are higher than our Defense Department budget. That's I think was the real wake-up call for me, was looking at seeing that the interest payments on national debt exceeded the Defense Department budget. And that was only growing over time, which meant if we didn't do something about this, then there won't be any money for anything.
There won't be any money for anything. All right. Are we understanding what the problem is? Are we understanding why this needs to be brought to the surface? The big, beautiful bill. And by the way, we don't care whichever way this goes, right? If the bill gets passed, it's a piece of shit and it's just going to require more money printing. If it doesn't, and also there's if it doesn't get passed, there's a 68% tax increase, right? And so one way or the other, we're going to get either full FOGM, digital 1776 continues, or we're going to get a massive amount of money printing. Either way, the Republics, right? They're not here to help you. $5 trillion. But we don't care. We're you want to print the money? Go ahead. Print, right? Trump wants to remove the debt ceiling. He even agreed with Elizabeth Warren, right? And so it's all just kind of really funny. It's all just kind of top keck. And so don't get lost in the sauce, Anon. We're here to help you. We're here to steer the ship. We're here to keep you on Signal because we will remain on Signal. The Signal is Bitcoin. Signal is a financial system. Signal is Wall Street and what's happening and how this is shaping out. And the spotlight is being put directly on all the pork, all the waste, all the fraud, all the abuse. Okay? There's going to be no money for anything. That's the point. The point is that we should be funding this stuff ourselves through direct volunteering of our Satoshis or money, right? Instead of them just printing it out of thin air. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to do a little Vegas recap. By the way, there's some new gear in the store. There's now a Rugpull Radio t-shirt. That's right. Go to 1776.love. Check out the gear. You can also sign up to be a digital soldier. Go to inthebankers.com, set up a free consult, and, let's get it rocking. Now, also Las Vegas, right? Vegas, for Bitcoin conference has been announced. It'll be at the same spot next year, the Venetian, which was awesome. If you guys are planning on going, get tickets now. Get the VIP upgraded ones, right? There's the free ones, but trust me, you're going to want the other ones at least. I think they're $600. Prices are going to go up, but you get 10% off using code Pepe. Okay, so do not wait. Hopefully we'll get another digital 1776 spot, and we will go full fug'em again. Siesta Randy for $10. Math challenge or half. This Patriot GMoney deserves every penny. Shea delay. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's get into our first. By the way, I screwed up the StreamYard, and it's all like tiles. So if anybody knows anything about StreamYard, I fucked it up tonight. I don't know what I did. So it's going to be kind of all over the place. Just a forewarning. But let's get to our first ad. Don't forget to leave a comment below. In the real comments below, leave a share delay. Give us a like. Help spread the signal.
Big Pharma is officially on notice.
People drinking methylene blue and stuff like that.
Yeah, methylene blue, which was a fabric dye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a textile dye. And now they find it has profound effects on your mitochondria.
Yep.
Yeah.
This stuff works, man.
Do you know about methylene blue? Originally synthesized over 100 years ago, we are just finding out about its benefit as a supplement with its ability to help oxygenate the blood and amplify our mitochondria. People all around the world are using methylene blue to accelerate their brain power and support their energy levels. Conscious Strength. Methylene blue is pure USP grade, aqueous solution. Click the link to learn more and shop Conscious Strength now.
All right, so let's go through some of this stuff before we get to the Vegas stuff, because there's a lot of important stuff here that people need to really wake up, because this huge awakening Elon is putting out there is full signal on digital 1776, right? It starts out with the other day. He actually, see if I can find it. See, I screwed this up somehow. Okay, so Brian Armstrong, if the electorate doesn't hold Congress accountable to reducing the deficit and start paying down the debt, Bitcoin is going to take over as reserve currency. I love Bitcoin, but a strong America is also super important for the world. We need to get our finances under control. Elon with the American flag at, no less than 11:10. Okay. We do have Elon as well tweeting about, again, I'm trying to find this. Okay, here it is. It started on June 3rd, right? 369. June 3rd, right? 6/3, 2/25 is 9. I'm sorry, but I just can't take it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. That's kind of where the KFAB started. Notice the time is 10:31. Notice 10:31 is also, of course, the time and date of the Satoshi white paper, right? Today, October 31st, on a 369, June 3rd, 2025. So this is when this started, right? All the KFAB started. Then he brings up the national debt, which again, on date 639, June 3rd, right? 2025 is a 9, guys. If you don't know, June 3rd, 639. The national debt in the U.S. debt clock is 36.9 trillion. Okay. Interest payments already consume 25% of the government revenue. The massive deficit spending continues. There will be only money for interest payments and nothing else. No Social Security, no medical, no defense, no nothing. Now, again, we've already talked about this like a million times. Ronald Reagan, Executive Order 12369, specifically stated that money brought in as taxes, 100% of it is like literally none of it goes to public good. It goes to interest on the debt, collections, and some other shit. Okay. And so this has been happening for a very, very, very long time. And so for you guys that are like retarded about Elon, you guys have no idea how massive his role is in this thing, right? But some of the Mogadonians, Elon is helping save America in the beginning, and then, right? Clink. The mainstream media comes in, Trump comes in, and all of a sudden, Elon is committing treason, lawyer up. And so I hope you Mogadonians take note, right, that hate Elon with literally no reason to. I hope you don't like come after the Tesla people now, because now I got to have liberals and conservatives worried about my Tesla. You guys are insane, right? So don't be a Magadonian retard, okay? Wake up. Elon is a good guy, has been for a very long time. And, let's just see how this plays out. Without me, Trump would have lost the election, right? So Elon's going into all this stuff, such gratitude. It's pretty funny, though, to kind of watch it. But, okay. What else do I want to say about that? Again, Elon. Again, I want to bring this up because this was back in 2021. These are my screenshots, you guys. Okay? Literally my screenshots. Talking about Bitcoin, Elon. In retrospect, it was inevitable when he updated his profile to hashtag Bitcoin, right? January 29th, 2021. I was there for that. It's 4 years later. We've been following the signal ever since. And for the Bitcoiners that don't think Elon is a Bitcoin maximalist, like, you guys are retarded too, okay? Because he was literally like the second guy behind Saylor, Michael Saylor, yes, to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet of Tesla, okay? So again, eat a bag of dicks if you guys don't understand that, but Elon is a good guy. All right. Let's see what else we're talking about. Yeah, okay. Let's get into again, debt slavery. The immense level of overspending will drive America into debt slavery. We're already in debt slavery, right? This has been going on for a very long time. We're already part of this debt slavery, but it's all coming out now. It's all, and this kayfabe between Trump and Elon is going to expose it all. This is good. This is all good. Everything that is happening right now is exactly what we want. We want more exposure from the central, right, fiat cartels that are enslaving the entire world. Okay, so I'm all for it. You guys should be all for it. And, we're kicking into the next phase. Okay. All right. Who do we want to talk about first? Let's start with some of the clips from the Vegas conference. Why don't we start with the Trumps? Okay. Actually, we can start with JD Vance. Let's start with JD Vance. JD Vance had some pretty cool shit to say. I just pulled one clip for now. So let's listen to this clip of JD.
Crypto is a hedge against bad policymaking from Washington, no matter what party is in control. It's a hedge against skyrocketing inflation, which has eroded the real savings rate of Americans over the last 4 years. And as you all know well, it's a hedge against a private sector that's increasingly willing to discriminate against consumers on the basis of their basic beliefs, including their politics.
Vance was hitting it out of the park. Okay, guys, he's all in. Again, they're mixing this crypto word with Bitcoin because, again, they're teaching the entire world about financial illiteracy, which is rampant across the entire world. And so they're trying to bring in as many folks as they can, right? They're going to use the bully pulpit, the Bitcoin conference to talk about crypto. That's fine, right? You don't have to talk about Bitcoin maximalism, whatever. We get it. The Trumps did the same thing, right? They didn't talk Bitcoin maximalism. They kept using the word crypto, whatever. No big deal. We like it. We like all of it. And then JD Vance went and talked a couple days later after the conference, and he had this to say.
The crypto speech was a big hit. And I know a lot of smart people love crypto. I know some smart people actually have reservations about it. Sure. For our audience, can you just kind of make the case for crypto and people who have, concerns and quite frankly don't even understand it? There are a lot of folks out there. I know a lot of people own it, but
yeah, of course. So look, I'm an owner of Bitcoin here, but I'm also the vice president of the United States. So I want to be careful, but I think the core value proposition of cryptocurrency is that it's a way of transacting and a way of storing value in a modern digital age. Look, 100 years ago, if you wanted to go and buy something, you put a dollar bill on the table, you put a gold coin on the table. The value proposition of Bitcoin is that it can serve the same function, but in a digital age, a way that's secure, that's safer from fraud, that allows people to buy and sell and store value, but in a way that's consistent with the modern technological age that we live in. Now, having said that, I fully accept there are risks to all of these things. There are always risks to new technologies. Our approach in the Trump administration is to say, let people innovate. Let people figure this stuff out on their own. If the critics of Bitcoin are right, I happen to think that they're wrong, that will eventually win out in the marketplace. If the advocates of Bitcoin are right, and I happen to agree with them, if they make their case, that's eventually going to win out in the marketplace. What you shouldn't have is a dictatorial government that tells certain industries they're not allowed to do what they need to do. You've got to let people make these decisions on their own, and that's sort of been our approach. We want common sense regulatory regimes. We want to allow the cryptocurrency industry to participate in the mainstream of the economy. But then ultimately, the laws of economics, the laws of supply and demand are going to make the determinations from there.
In Vegas, you said there's...
Boom. Again, Vance being very nice and kind of normie about the whole thing, which is good, right? He's being a little bit more, mainstream. But we had Don Jr., we had Eric Jr., we had Cynthia Lummis, like actually going full fuck 'em, soft war, Jason Laurie, fuck the banks, burn it down. Like no joke, right? So let's go to Lummis. Let's see what, by the way, it's Lummis, not Loomis. Okay. And so I think some of them were saying her name wrong. Cynthia Lummis, like hummus. Don't say it wrong. Here's Cynthia Lummis.
Bitcoin is such an important global strategic asset. And it is not only important in the economy, but in our global defense, because there's components to our defense. One is, having a lethal war-fighting machine that can overcome other armies and other military efforts. Another one is having an economic machine that can overcome other currencies. The Chinese want to dominate in both spaces. And so we're in a bit of an economic war at the same time that we're building up our abilities to defend ourselves and some of our allies. So even our military generals say that Bitcoin is an important deterrent to aggression from other countries, especially from China. And so we have to be a robust participant in a strong Bitcoin ecosystem, and that includes mining.
Okay, there's Cynthia Lummis. By the way, Jason Laurie did a little winky face with some of, I think, Lummis's talks, saying, like, hey, guys, pay attention, right? And here's Lummis again, preaching basically soft war.
Guns, bullets, drones, planes, etc. What do you say to critics like Jamie Dimon who say this is a waste of resources?
Yeah, I would say that even the United States military disagrees with him, that there are generals, especially in Southeast Asia, who believe it's important to have strategic Bitcoin stockpile because we're doing an economic war with China and we have to prepare for a guns and bullets war. But we need both. And so all we need to do is look to the leadership of the current U.S. military to find support for a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Senator Lummis, I'm also...
Say it's stockpile. Say it's a stockpile, Lummis. By the way, did you hear what part of the world Lummis referred to? The Indo-Pacific. Well, it just so happens that I believe Major Jason Laurie is on tour working in the Indo-Pacific, perhaps, right? And so kind of a hat tip to our boy. I don't know. You guys paying attention? Can you guys connect the dots? Trying to help you. Okay. So you got Lummis. You got JD Vance. You got Eric Trump killing it. Eric Trump was going off, by the way. Eric Trump was absolutely great. So let's go through some of the stuff with Eric Trump. Okay. Let's hear what some of the stuff he had to say. And I will get to you. Here we go. Wait, is this playing for you guys? I'm not sure if you guys can hear this. So give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're able to hear the Eric or Don Jr. right now. I'm not sure if you're able to hear him talk. I thought I got this right, but yeah, okay, no sound. All right. I don't know why that's not working. That's okay. I have the entire file here. Let's try it again. And again, where is Eric Trump? John Jr. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Can you guys hear this one? I think we can hear this. All right, let's start here.
I think I've done more congressional testimony than anyone, and what we learned in those processes as we were debanked, as we lost insurance, as people that we would have been able to call and they would have picked up the phone call on the first ring for decades no longer even answered. We realized how many of the traditional sort of TradFi systems were actually broken. I always likened it it was a Ponzi scheme that we were a part of that we didn't realize we were a part of. We were just so far up in the pyramid that...
It's a Ponzi scheme. Okay, take note. He's talking about the financial system being a Ponzi scheme. Do you guys take a note of that? Continue to listen.
It just sort of worked. And you realized how many people in America probably were getting screwed, whether it was because of political beliefs or things that they had done, and they didn't have those opportunities. And so this whole notion of democratizing finance, that's not going to be done in the traditional banking way. That's going to be done in crypto.
Every single person in here got those calls, right? I mean, Don and I were getting these on behalf of commercial buildings, on behalf of hard assets. Hey, guess what? Your bank account is gone. You know, the 600 people that you have working in the hotel that's 700 yards behind us right now that I built, you no longer have a traditional bank to bank that hotel because they don't like the fact that you're wearing a hat that's red that says, "Make America Great Again." Guys, we probably would have never found crypto had it not been for the very same scumbags that were coming after all of you.
The very same scumbags coming after you are the same people that don't like crypto, right? And that's why they got involved, right? They had the narrative deployed, boom. Gave them a reason to come to crypto.
I mean, how many people in here? I've heard the stories from everyone. How many people in here had Wells Fargo call them up and, you know what? I owned one Bitcoin, and because of that, they found out and they canceled my accounts. I mean, my accounts just stopped working. And guys, you realize how corrupt the system is. I mean, every single person this system was weaponized. Traditional finance was absolutely weaponized.
It was weaponized. Do you take that? It was weaponized. It's been weaponized for a long time. There's so much signal in Eric Trump. Eric Trump is killing it, by the way. So keep listening.
Nice. And I always say, the enemy of your enemy is often your friend. That's what happened between the Trump family and the crypto community. And I'm not sure if we would have won the same way. I think we would have won, but I'm not sure if we would have won in the same decisive manner had it not been for this incredible community that was by our side the entire time. And I hate using the word hate, but honestly, I would love to see some of the big banks go extinct.
I would love to see some of the big banks go extinct. Guys, this is like absolute fire-breathing magic from Eric Trump. And if the Q-tards still can't figure this out, the language they're using here is probably the strongest language the Trumps ever have used in anything they've ever talked about. Okay? Let's continue.
Because honestly, they deserve it. And the fact that they've been allowed to get away with murder for as long as they have.
They got away with murder for as long as they have. Guys, Eric Trump is accusing the current financial terrorists, the bankers, of murder. Okay? Mass murder. And he's like, this is enough. Enough is enough. So Eric is on point. He's like breathing fire. And this talk at the Bitcoin conference was full of signal. Look, all the retards aside, this one was magical. Let's keep going.
Is honestly kind of shocking. I use this analogy all the time, but obviously I run a very big real estate company. Every Friday at 5 o'clock, we're waiting for a wire to come in. The SWIFT system is broken, but not a single person outside the crypto community has talked about this system that's so fundamentally flawed.
Nobody, literally nobody in the system is talking about the murder except the people in crypto, right? What did Trump say in Nashville? These are some of the most highest IQ individuals there are, right? Along with my uncle, John G. Trump, right? Who got the Tesla files, so on and so forth. But he's telling you, like, dude, no one in the traditional finance world cares. They're all asleep at the wheel. They're all a bunch of sheep. The only people fighting the real battle are the Bitcoiners, the crypto guys. I'm like, we'll throw the crypto guys in there. That's fine, right? But he's right.
It works 40 hours a week, barely. You have traditional banking in this country that runs 9 to 5 with an hour and a half lunch break. Go try and get a mortgage on your house. It takes 120 days, of which case at the end of it, they deny you, even though they've banked you forever. They say your money's safe when, you deposit $1 million in a bank and they keep $100,000 of it and they go spend your money somewhere else. You go try and pull out more than $5,000 and you're on some terrorist watch list somewhere. I mean, the whole system, guys, is broken. And now all of a sudden you have crypto, which solves all the problems. It makes everything cheaper. It makes it faster. It makes it safer. It makes it more transparent. It makes the whole system more functional. And you wonder why these massive buildings that dot the skylines of every city around the world, you wonder why these buildings even exist, and the thousands of people that are pushing antiquated paper in these buildings. And guys, they're fearful of this room. They're fearful of all of us, and they better adapt. Otherwise, they're going to get run over, and they're going to get run over really, really quickly.
Oh, freaking love that. Eric Trump, you're the man. Hopefully, we'll get to have you on one day and discuss it. All right, let's fast forward to a little bit more. Let's see. More Eric Trump fire. Let's hear him.
For 20 years, long before he even went down the Bitcoin route, we were friends from New York. But I was with him about a year ago. He goes, Eric, here's the play. You need to mortgage Mar-a-Lago right now. You need to take $2 billion out on Mar-a-Lago right now, and you need to go long Bitcoin. And I go, I don't know, if I mortgage my father's house right now, I'm not sure if he's, and by the way, he's a total Bitcoin maxi, but I'm not sure if he's going to be thrilled. But
by the way, my father, who's a total Bitcoin maxi, did you catch that? Did you catch that?
The amazing thing about Michael Saylor is he is truly one of the most pure, incredible people. He tells everybody, including Mike, right, including Matt, including our entire team, he goes, guys, do what I'm doing. Do what I'm doing. There's such incredible opportunity. I've never seen that in any other industry where you have the titan of the industry that's literally advocating for smart people to compete against them.
It's a win-win situation, you guys. The zero-sum game is over. And so, Eric, full of signal. Let's continue. Let's see. Some more Eric Trump.
100. I mean, this is the biggest, private offices. Everybody wants it. No one wants to get rid of it, and it's incredibly powerful. And I think you're going to see the value skyrocket. So don't be afraid of the integer. You don't need to buy things in whole integers. You can buy things in fractions of integers. And I think that's actually how Satoshi designed the system, to actually be designed to buy in fractions of integers. We just are so early to the game that some of us have been lucky enough to buy full Bitcoin or many full Bitcoin, but don't let that deter you from getting in there, because this is an asset, and this is an asset that is absolutely unstoppable.
Nothing can stop it, you guys. Absolutely nothing can stop this asset. Let's keep going. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Eric Trump. John Jr. is good, but Eric Trump is Eric Trump is killing it.
Passed. Market structure bill will get passed. Maybe, if we're lucky, Bitcoin Act bill will get.
By the way, it is funny that they put the altcoin daily guy in here, right? Not a Bitcoin maximalist, to interview these guys. Again, spreading the crypto, trying to cast the widest net as possible. Shitcoiners, come have a listen, right?
Passed. Certainly the ETF adoption will have grown. Certainly sovereign wealth adoption will have grown. So 1 year from today, and I want to get answers from all of you, finish this sentence. Bitcoin clears at least this price by 2026.
The moon.
Really, the moon? All right.
I think it clears 170,000. That's my prediction.
170,000, Eric Trump. Yeah, we know the 17. That was funny. Got you, Eric Trump. Got you. All right. Go towards the end of it was pretty good too. I think. Let's see if they gave us a shout out. No, let's see. Let's see.
Like I said, I mean, relatively speaking, compared to the people in this room, we were late adapters, but we were pushed there out of necessity. We were pushed there because the conventional options were literally rugged from underneath us. And once we commit to something, though, we go all in. We are innovators. We're not just adapting this, we're adapting this out of necessity. And I think there's a lot of other people that perhaps don't have our platform or the ability to get it out there that way that have been under those same pressures. And we're doing this for them.
Doing this for you, right? You got rug pulled. They realized they were at the top of the pyramid. They didn't have the issues. And then when they started debanking people. And so this whole thing was awesome. And I suggest you go actually check it out if you can. All right. So, okay. So that was Eric. That was Dawn, JD, Lummis. Again, I tried to pull, the signal that I saw out of there because there was a lot of TradFi stuff. There was a lot of, there was our panel, which was absolute fire, which we're going to play here in a minute. But yeah, I think, you have to be able to learn how to separate noise from signal. And the Trump sons are bringing pure fire. They're absolutely part of something that their dad has told them. And it's cool to see, right? It's cool to see this come to fruition. It's cool to see that, we've been ahead of it this entire time. And so we're watching it kind of, play out. Now, of course, we don't have all the answers, but it's nice that this is playing out at this time. Let's go ahead and do the River ad, and we'll continue, shall we? And we've got River. Did you know that Bitcoin is now a top 5 global asset? Now is the time to buy, and River's here to help. Prepare to maximize your Bitcoin returns without the emotion. Introducing River AI, a Bitcoin advisor at your fingertips. Stop trying to time the market. Do it with confidence. At River, you get zero fee recurring buys, 3.8% Bitcoin interest on cash, US-based support, business accounts, and so much more. Don't forget about Bitcoin interest on cash, which can accelerate your business growth too. Businesses can now earn 3.8% interest on cash paid in Bitcoin. That's more money to fuel your next big move. Get started at badlandsmedia.tv/river. Move your cash to River today and start earning a real interest rate with Bitcoin. The future is now. That's badlandsmedia.tv/river. Love those guys. The guys at River held an excellent party. And I suggest if you guys haven't been to a Bitcoin conference, you guys come to one. A lot of cool, regular folks learning about Bitcoin, learning about all the cool new products. I had a lot of frogs came out. A lot of frogs were out there. And so it was good to see them. Thank you all for coming. Do appreciate that. We even had a frog party. Okay. And so all the frogs, we gave them the full fuggums. We gave them double birds. Evan there with double birds. Patrick of Kekistan with some double birds. We had our boy G from Australia come out with some double birds. And love seeing the double birds, guys. I only went one bird. I was holding the alien. And we went to a bar called Tipsy Robot, where you can put in your order and the robot will serve you drinks, right? Keep going with the futuristic theme there. So it was fun. We'll probably do it again next year. And yeah, thanks for all the frogs for coming out to the party. Now let's go ahead and put on my panel that I hosted at the Bitcoin conference. You may need to turn your speakers up a little bit, okay? And so it might be a little low. So go ahead and turn your speakers up. But this is the Doc filmed it. He did an excellent job. Thanks, Doc, for doing that. But the official one isn't out yet. I don't even know if it's going to be put out. So hopefully we'll get a better spot next year so that all you guys can be there in attendance. All right. So let's play this and I'll be hanging. All right.
It's really a culmination of our founding fathers, John Perry Barlow and Jason Laurie. Okay. So I've got some legends on stage next to me today. We've got CJ Constantinos from People's Reserve. We have Eric Kaysen from CryptoSovereignty.org. And we got the Simply Bitcoin OG Nico in the house. Yo! All right, guys, so let's just get the baseline here. You know, in 250 years ago, there was a document put out that talked about, you know, all men are created equal with unalienable rights, and that men institute governments to secure those rights. And when government becomes destructive to the ends of those rights, it is the duty of the people to either alter or abolish that government, okay? And so, you know, look at where we're at today. We've got endless lies, endless wars, endless surveillance, endless censorship, right? And at its core, you know, endless inflation, right? And at its core, inflation is taxation without representation, okay, at its very core. And, you know, the first question I kind of want to talk to is, you know, is inflation taxation without representation? And have we succumbed to the idea that we're just going to continually pay our taxes to pedophiles, or continue to actually aid and abet a criminal enterprise, you know, creating biolabs, creating, you know, genocide and all these things, because you're directly funding these people. And so, CJ, I don't know, you want to start us off? Is tyranny taxation without representation?
Absolutely. This is like a bad movie that we're living through right now. This is our reality, though. There are overlords who want to control you, every aspect of your life. And Bitcoin is our way of fighting back. Bitcoiners, we have the FU money, right? We say, we're gonna do what we wanna do with the time and value that we contribute to the economy. And even though you're gonna try to suck that energy through us through inflation and steal our purchasing power to use it towards your means, we're opting out of that. And finally, we have a way to do that consistently, and we can play defense so that we can get in a position where we can start to play some offense. Because we've been sitting back and taking it and taking it and taking it for years. And now we're gonna finally step up and fight back. And Bitcoin is the peaceful way to do that.
So what do you think, Eric? What's your take?
I mean, like, the fact that we're even talking about like inflation and the idea of government having control of money kind of goes to show how far gone and how radical things are at this point. Is like the very idea of government controlling and issuing money on their own is pretty fucking insane, particularly considering what they're spending the money on, the accountability that they have towards it, and the fact that they can literally just print their way out of it. And like, also, like, there's nothing federal or reserved about the Federal Reserve. Like, it is a private company that is designed to enrich the 12 largest banks in the United States. Like, it's absolutely absurd how much we've allowed for our general economic wealth to be exploited and sucked into a system that literally has no system of accountability whatsoever. And so at some point, exit becomes the only option, and it's not exit vis-a-vis like an ETF or something. Like, you actually have to understand Bitcoin and hold it and utilize its cryptographic substrate in like a meaningful way. Like, you can't relegate this responsibility out of yourself, because like that's just another tertiary pivot to giving somebody else power. And so like a lot of what my book Crypto Sovereignty is about is like, what is this underlying ability to prove self-sovereignty in the digital age vis-a-vis cryptography? Because like, that's the thing that makes Bitcoin work. Like, you owning Bitcoin on Coinbase, or you having Bitcoin in an ETF, that is just part of a system that is going to collapse on itself. And so like, before we can even start talking about the inflationary problem, we have to talk about the entire structure of this system that's designed to exploit you. And inflation's really at the end of it.
And that's a great point. And so, you know, Nico, can we physically constrain these people? How can we physically constrain these tyrants? And can we cause, you know, severe costs to non-compliance?
All right, so first of all, it's an excellent question. And the reason I'm saying that is we had a dude that literally invented self-landing rockets, self-driving cars, go into government and try to fix it. And he failed to the point where You see some, and by the way, I give him so much credit. I'm talking about Elon Musk, by the way. I give him so much credit for attempting to do that. But something that us Bitcoiners knew while he was attempting to do this, and I was saying it for like 6 or 7 months, he was never going to win. Why? Because you're fighting the system within the system. To win, you have to essentially opt out of the system entirely, and by doing so, you take away power from the system itself. But the way that you do that is buying Bitcoin, earning Bitcoin, mining Bitcoin, and taking your money, your energy, and putting it into something that, to put it bluntly, they can't steal. And it really comes down to that. Inflation has been the biggest crime and psyop of the last century. It's funded world wars, it's funded all the things that you guys disagree with, the misallocation of capital by governments. Income tax funds a little bit of that, but the majority of that comes from the government's unique ability to create money for free that the rest of us have to work for. I say this all the time, and I really mean it, and it's not hyperbolic whatsoever. You have two choices ahead of you. You have Bitcoin, which is peace, prosperity, opportunity, hope, and you have slavery, which is the continuation of the fiat system, the existing system, and its next evolution, which is central bank digital currencies. That's communism on steroids, for anyone who doesn't know.
Beautifully put, beautifully put. I mean, look, consent, right? Your consent, you're giving your consent to the government to basically rule over you, right? And so, you know, that takes actual action from the individual, right? You are engaging in compliance with tyranny. When you file your federal income taxes, you are saying, yes, I agree, we should go build the Ukraine labs, the biolabs, and bomb people in other countries. Like, you're agreeing to that tyranny. You are subscribed to the process, even though you may be against it. And so what happens, you know, if citizens can fund what they believe in, and they can defund what they don't believe in? What about, like, GoFundMe bro government? You know, CJ, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I love this point because this is something we're working on at People's Reserve. We think that we need to drive liquidity into the states. And that's because our state leaders can be held responsible more easily than the federal government. Where Elon went in and tried to fight the beast, and Nico, we already knew that, right? He wasn't going to be able to do it. But if we bring it down a layer and come to the state layer where the people can be held responsible by the constituents, and we drive liquidity from the federal beast system into a state system, the way Jefferson saw it early on, then we might have a chance to turn this around in a peaceful way. So I think these states, they need to adopt Bitcoin to get away from the federal government, to stop leaning on the federal government. And when you integrate Bitcoin into your debt issuance with a municipal Bitcoin bond, you're going to attract liquidity that you can't get right now. The states are mandating that people buy their debt. They're offering tax incentives for the rich so that you can have cash flow without tax. They have to incentivize you to convince you to buy their debt. Well, stop those incentives and integrate Bitcoin, a much better, stronger incentive that can last perpetually. And when you integrate Bitcoin, you're going to attract demand from all over the world. And it's going to be at the local level so that the local leaders can then take that money and invest it in infrastructure. You look at this country and then you travel around the world and you say, wait a second, we're the best? What the hell are you talking about? Have you seen these other places? They're beautiful. What infrastructure? Where the hell is all the money going that they're printing? It's not going into our infrastructure, it's going into their pockets. That's where it's going. So we need to change that, and the way to do that is by adopting Bitcoin at the lower level, from the bottom up. Integrate it into your municipal Bitcoin bonds and drive liquidity away from the beast and into the states, into people that we can point at and say, if you don't do this, there's going to be consequences.
Yeah, I mean, it gets back to the idea of anti-federalism, right? Let states compete. Right? Let them be free to compete on their ideas alone. And so, you know, Eric, how about this? You know, can the bureaucratic state survive where legitimacy must be earned?
it's interesting because you use the word the bureaucratic state, and like I think we're moving into an advancement where this idea of having smaller, more nimble, more technologically enhanced versions of a state-based government that can operate more nimbly, I think there's a real shot and opportunity at that. I do think, however, because of the way that the fiat system in general has metastasized into everything, that like the cleanup of this process is going to take a really long time. And like, let's be honest, like we're really deep into the shit of this system. It's really fucked up. It's really abusive. It's really corrupt. It's really bloated, and it's extremely harmful to like the human experience in general. And like as dark as that is, like there's a shot to actually save it right now, but like I don't think it's through the mass politicization of Bitcoin. And to be clear, like I'm totally against the idea of a Bitcoin reserve. Like you want to put the same fucking retards that destroyed the economic system in charge of a large portion of Bitcoin. Like that's fucking dumb. So with that being said, like doing it at the state level is less dumb, but I still think dumb. The place you really need to implement a Bitcoin standard is for you and your family. Like that's number one. And then like help out your friends and your greater community. And like keep expanding out from there. But like fuck the state. That's the last person I want to be in bed with. And furthermore, like fuck this dick sucking of the Republican Party that's going on. Like this is absurd. We are a powerful political contingency at this point in time. Why the fuck are we on our knees in front of the Republican Party when we should be asking for the opposite? It's really important to understand that like we can solve the political problems of our country, but not with the corrupt Democrat or the corrupt Republican Party. And pandering to either side is dangerous and stupid.
Yeah, you can't vote your way out of this, folks, right? You really can't.
And on that note, I do think there is a very real need for a radical orange party that decides to say, we're going to implement a totally new vision for America that has nothing to do with the Republicans or Democrats, and those people are our enemies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's ask this question, Nico. Is our Constitution outdated in the fact that it doesn't scale, right? I mean, it was originally crafted with 4 million people in mind in 13 colonies, and now we have 330 million people in 50 states. And it's really a proof of stake shitcoin, allowing 500 people to control 330 million. That it sounds like, some like, I don't know, shitcoin.
As a first generation American, I will say the American Constitution, with all its flaws, is so unique to the world, and it's an incredible document. However, that being said, it needs an update. It needs a software update. And that software update is Bitcoin. And that's really what's going to allow the country to move back to its founding principles. Like, maybe you guys didn't know this, but the founding fathers absolutely hated fiat money. Like, you can literally see quotes from George Washington, like the dude that founded the country, literally talking shit about fiat money, right? So he really wouldn't be happy with the current state of affairs. And if you want to know why we have this ever-growing, some people call it the deep state, some people call it the bureaucratic state, I call it the administrative state because it's right up in your grill these days. You have to see what is the root cause, what was the root evil of that, what created this Leviathan, what created this monster, what took over the American Constitution, what misaligned incentives. It was literally the institution of the Federal Reserve, which coincidentally, by the way, was the same year that they instituted the federal income tax. And if you think that's a coincidence, but that literally is what has funded this. That's what's made government get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what funded both world wars. That is what is funding this tyranny. And the thing is, it's so entrenched, as what Eric was saying, that either political party is not going to be able. You guys want to know why Elon just quit? He said, "I can't do this anymore." It wasn't the Democrats. It wasn't the other party. It was the Republicans themselves. Could you imagine this dude put hundreds of millions of dollars to getting them elected, getting the senators elected, essentially both houses and the executive branch, and they were just like, oh, we found like people that were 120 years old taking Social Security, but we can't really reverse that. You want to know why they can't reverse that? Because they're taking some of that money too. That's why. So yeah, I mean, you can't fix this. It's too far gone. What you can do is opt out, and if enough of us opt out, if enough of a percentage of the American population opt out of the fiat money scam into hard money, into Bitcoin, you won't have to vote your way out of this in a traditional sense. The things will move by themselves. But that's all up to you guys. You don't have to vote the traditional vote, but you do have to vote with your wallet. And most importantly, after you vote with your wallet, you have to take that Bitcoin into self-custody, and only by doing that, you become sovereign. And if enough of us do this, you're not talking about a constitutional republic in the United States where we value freedom of speech, the right to defend yourself with the Second Amendment. You're talking about that ethos being exported globally, worldwide, because that is essentially the core of Bitcoin. Like, I guarantee you, I can't confirm this for sure, but I guarantee you, man, that Satoshi was a big fan of the Constitution, because the Bitcoin ethos and the Constitution get along very well, and the Constitution isn't dated, man. It just needs a software update.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we can take many, many great elements of the Constitution and Bill of Rights and transition into this new system to where the people actually get represented. And so, what does this look like, guys? Are we just like LARPing up here, right? Like, is this just some fantasy, or like, what does it like look like for a digital declaration of independence, right? And what does the sovereign future look like? Like, how do we get there, right? Like, there's a lot of first steps here, but what do you guys envision that future as, and like, what are the steps to get there?
Well, I think the good news is that Bitcoin is the first step. You need to separate money from state, and that's what Bitcoin does. The next thing you need to do, though, is you need what Milton Friedman, who just almost geniusly identified inflation and defined it for us economically. He said that you need a sly, roundabout way. You need a way to sneak in. You can't do what Elon did and take this thing head on from within the system. You need a sly, roundabout way to get your way in there, and that's what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin gets us in that sly, roundabout way. But to me, this revolution is not just about money. I love that everybody wants sound money. You need to start with sound money. But look, if you don't want these people to tell you what the price of milk and eggs is, then why are they allowed to tell you the price of money? The price of money is interest rates. So this is not just about free market money. This is about free market interest rates and a free market yield curve, an unanchored yield curve where price discovery on cost of capital happens without a small group of unelected men telling us what that price is. How do you do that? I'm sorry, you can't opt out of that. You cannot opt out of it. You won't win. You can't convince everybody about interest rates and why they're important and what means considered a mortgage and their life and borrowing and credit. They're not going to sit down and take the time to learn it. They're too busy just getting by, earning and barely getting by with any savings whatsoever. So we need a sly, roundabout way to get into the financial system, to redefine how we discover an interest rate. And Bitcoin does that for us. It's not just a monetary revolution, it's a financial revolution. And we need to, yes, opt out and save in Bitcoin and be self-sovereign and take self-custody. Don't leave it on the exchanges. Don't trust anybody. But we also need to integrate Bitcoin into bonds, mortgages, annuities, credit products. And that is the sly, roundabout way where everybody learns over time. Wait a second. Why are we doing it the way these idiots told us to do who are stealing from us? Let's do it our way. And when you integrate Bitcoin, it keeps these people in check. That's what gold did. It kept them in check. That's why they removed the gold, so that they could go crazy. That's why if you go to what WTF happened in 1971, look at the charts. Look what happened when they took away the gold. Bitcoin is not just digital gold, it's engineered money. And it was strategically designed to solve this problem. We need to adopt it and integrate it.
Yeah, to that point, right? Change revolutions can cause a lot of bloodshed. And I believe there are patriots that are helping this transition be as smooth as possible. I know I'd want to live in Eric's citadel. Eric, what is your plan for the future? What does that look like? Yours would probably be one of the kick-ass citadels, all I know.
I mean, a large part of this is like, it's time to take responsibility for the direction that we want our future to go. It's turned out that leaving the pricing of money to a bunch of ancient bureaucratic individuals who are totally disconnected from the economy was a really bad idea. And like you're free to continue in that direction. There will be central bank digital currencies that get issued, and that's a system you can choose to use. And you can get rug pulled at any point in time if you say something on social media that people don't like, if you have opinions that don't align politically with whoever may be in power. And frankly, I think it's a very dangerous idea. But if you're lazy and don't want to take responsibility for yourself, you can do that. Or you can understand how and why cryptography actually offers a new form of sovereignty in the digital age. You can take the empowerment to educate yourself about this, why it's important, and why you need to be able to control not only your Bitcoin, but your private data on a whole. Because the world that we're moving into, the importance of being able to secure your data using cryptography, and that same cryptography being able to make sure that your Bitcoin is secured, are going to be one and the same. And it's going to require you actually knowing and understanding how this works, as opposed to giving it to a third party that you will get rugged in at the end of the day. So like it's a choice that you have to make right now about the development of the future that we'll go into. And I think making the decision to take that responsibility on is really important, because once you do that for yourself, you can do it for the rest of your family and friends. But like, don't worry about the state doing it. And who gives a shit about if some fucking company does it? Like the simping to the corporate stuff here is disgusting.
Nico, what's your future look like, buddy?
I mean, look, if we really want to win, I think it's pretty simple. Buy Bitcoin, put in self-custody, buy a shit ton of guns, learn how to use them, and print babies. That's pretty much it. And then educate the next generation about Bitcoin. Don't let the state do it for you. Like that to me is crazy. So yeah, just buy Bitcoin, buy guns, make babies, and the next generation, they're gonna pass these ideals. And it's crazy too, like I don't have any specific data pointing this out, but just being in the Bitcoin community and just talking to people and et cetera, I guarantee you that the people that are on a Bitcoin standard are making more babies than the people that are on a fiat standard, right? I can't confirm that with 100% certainty, but I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. And yeah, man, like it's pretty straightforward advice. And I think if we do that over the next couple generations, this phase in humanity where like essentially the people that won the popularity contest essentially had the ability to create, control the money printer. We're gonna look back on this, hundreds of years from now as the human race, and we're gonna be like, yo, that was fucking crazy. Like, I can't believe that system existed, right? Because it is absurd. Like, Eric, you said something earlier. You called it radical. They call us radical. I think what they're doing is radical as shit. Creating money out of thin air that all of us has to work for, that they can just create. That's fucking bullshit. That is literally the definition of tyranny.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, I think of it as like, we're like babies crawling on the ground, trying to learn how to walk because we don't understand what freedom is. The human populace has been domesticated for over a century. And so we're afraid of these new ideals. Like, what if we tell them no, right? The HR department might come knocking on my door, the IRS. And look, Trump has done an amazing job. Elon has done an amazing job of exposing this stuff. But like, these guys can't do it themselves. It's our responsibility to assist in this.
I got to insist, like, this can't be solved politically. Like, I need to underline that like 18 times. Like, 100%. You're not gonna let yourself out of this fucking crisis. Like, the economy is fucked. Okay, like, I wanna be really clear, like, bonds are going fucking nuts. The dollar's failing. Like, Bretton Woods is fucking dead. So, like, the ship is sinking. You can get the fuck out right now in a safety boat called Bitcoin, or you can wait and watch what's gonna happen, because it's gonna get fucking nasty. So, like, I really wanna highlight for you that, like, it is time to make a decision about what your financial future is going to be, and it's, if you think these guys that caused the 2008 crisis are actually gonna solve it this time, or you can opt out to a new system called Bitcoin that actually could save you. The choice is yours. You should really think very hard about it. Because, like Nico said, it's not, what they're doing is radical. What we're doing is actually like pretty normal and logical. So, sorry, I just...
Absolutely, no, I love that. And like, look, you know, as Jason Lowry stated, a state of systemic oppression can only be solved through physical confrontation. But look, guys, we're not talking about taking muskets to Washington, right? We're not talking about a bloody bloodshed civil war. We're talking about peace through strength, through digital cryptography, military grade, mind you, cryptography. And you know, you the people have all the power. We just forgot how to play the game. We forgot how the game works. And we're only allowing this because it's able to happen. And you know, this quote, for evil to flourish, it only requires good people to do nothing. And there's not enough people doing enough out there, and we're here to spread the message. All right, guys, we got like 3 minutes left. Give me like your 1 minute spiel, Digital 1776.
Yeah, well, I hope everybody saw the Satoshi skull out there that Greenpeace made. It was supposed to be a hit piece on how Bitcoin miners are destroying the world and burning the oceans. And the truth is that it's the Greenpeace philosophy. It's the fiat, I care about you fake feelings that's actually destroying humanity and the planet. What we need is orange peace. We don't need green peace. Bitcoin is orange peace, and orange peace is how we turn this around. It's a peaceful way to solve our biggest problems, which is taking back our sovereignty without having to physically fight for it.
Bitcoin is the digitization of the Rousseauian idea of the social contract. Like, it's time for us to accept that, like, the internet's real, it's not going away, and it radically transforms the human experience. So are we going to actually use the internet to create the new substrate of a legal and political system that can provide a greater degree of economic liberty and freedom than has ever existed before? Or is this going to become a system of totalitarian panoptic control to where you will live in a society where you never know whether or not you're being monitored, watched, surveilled, or if that information will be used against you? This is a very unique and distinct time in human history, very much like the Founding Fathers made a choice to say, we can keep letting ourselves be the tax slaves without representation of the English crown, or we could introduce to the world a totally new form of political process that is radical and different, but it could provide a possibility of greater human liberty for all of posterity. And I think that's what Bitcoin really represents and has an opportunity for. And I encourage you to take that mission very seriously and commit yourself to it and move forward with that idea with your family, friends, and community.
Nico?
Look, Eric said something very important. He said mission. Make no mistake, this is a revolution. It might not be a kinetic one where you're picking up a musket, but this is a revolution, make no mistake. The balance of power between the individual and the state, the collective, is changing. It's moving to the individual's favor with Bitcoin, using Bitcoin as a technology to reclaim back your financial sovereignty. And it really falls down to all you guys, because this is a revolution of individuals. It's not a collective revolution. So instead of asking, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have asked here, maybe I'm guilty of this myself, what can Bitcoin do for me? Ask yourself, what can you do for Bitcoin? And if enough of us take self-custody, we win, and there's absolutely nothing they can fucking do about it.
Love it, guys. Love it. This was awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And look, you know, this isn't about secession. This isn't about burning it down. This is about sovereignty. And we're not waiting for permission. Bitcoin is digital 1776. Let's fucking go.
Yo. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. I think that panel was just pure fire. Hopefully they'll get to, like I said, hopefully we'll get a bigger spot next year so that all the plebs can join us, because we definitely, we're on industry day, not the greatest day to be there. We'll fix that next year, hopefully. So, all right, what else do we got? Let's get into the circus news of today's been a freaking circus by itself. But we have our boy Jack Dorsey retweeting "Bitcoin is my safe word" from Elon Musk, right? Interesting delta there, 12:12 a.m. We have Truth Social launching their Bitcoin ETF. This is their S1 form. So I don't know, there's something to be said, but
GMoney is right.
Listen to Quast. GMoney is right. We have human robots preparing for delivering packages, which is interesting. Okay. We also have Elon talking about bankrupting America. This is that whole deal he went on the other day. Again, guys, some of my stuff is a little bit out of whack, so we'll see if we can get that fixed. We had what looks to be Jamie Dimon, who, by the way, is now offering Bitcoin-backed loans at JP Morgan, is saying there's going to be a crack in the bond market, and that due to U.S. government and Federal Reserve massively overdoing spending and quantitative easing. And so Diamond expects a kerfuffle in the Treasury market. How about a kekfuffle that will prompt the Fed intervention and advise regulators to take action to prevent a panic. The money printer is coming, you guys. You can't print. You're going to have to print your way out of this. Scott Bessent said they're not defaulting on the debt. Trump wants to eliminate the debt ceiling. The only option they have is to cut rates and print a fuckload more of money. Okay. What else do we had? We had, oh yeah, this was interesting. So we had the Secret Service come out. Secret Service comes out. Criminals use crypto mixers, also known as tumblers, to launder illicit funds. International criminal organizations such as the Lazarus Group use the CoinJoin mixing protocol to launder millions of dollars in stolen cryptocurrency. So it's showing you the Secret Service, mind you, is pointing this out. By the way, what is the original charter for the Secret Service? We are one of America's oldest federal law enforcement agencies, originally created in 1865 to stamp out rampant counterfeiting in order to stabilize America's young financial system. Okay, so you were originally created to stamp out counterfeiting, to stabilize America's financial system, and you're worried about crypto mixers? You haven't looked at the Federal Reserve, who literally their entire business is counterfeiting money? Come on, guys. Get it together, Secret Service, right? You guys failed at protecting the president. You guys failed at counterfeiting, obviously. Oh, this was Top Keck too. So the Las Vegas Sun did an article on the panel. Like, it's funny. The Las Vegas Sun didn't do many articles, but they did an article on my panel. And it says Garrett, GMoney, who keeps his last name a secret while hosting a Bitcoin podcast on the video platform Rumble, came to a more radical position that culminated in a panel he hosted titled Bitcoin as Digital 1776. To start a revolution, he wants people to stop paying federal income taxes. I'm not saying we burn it down. We don't have to burn anything down. What we're saying is we're going to transition, but we're not going to ask for your permission anymore. GMoney told the Sun. We need to go back to maybe a GoFundMe government. You want to do this? Well, why don't you see how many people are willing to fund it? You want to send bombs to other countries on our dollar? Let's see how many people actually support your efforts. You know what? Good job to the Las Vegas Sun. They actually did a pretty good job. They didn't bash Trump. They didn't bash the guests. They just kind of told a decent story. And so appreciate the gentleman that did that. I think his name was Kyle. Thank you, Kyle, for doing and keeping your journalistic integrity. Appreciate that so much. What else we got? We have, let's see. Oh, this was interesting. Mike Lee. Federal spending has become excessive. The resulting inflation harms Americans and weaponizes government. Okay. He just connected inflation to weaponizing government. The Senate can make this bill better. No, you can't, Mike Lee. Mike Lee, go eat a bag of dicks. And then you have me down here. And Bitcoin weaponizes the people. What happens when they figure that shit out? Well, we all want to know what happens when they figure that shit out because, like Trump said, something beautiful may happen when that happens. It's like only been, a year since Trump made that speech. We've got Conor McGregor saying, I want to build on the amazing feats President Nayib Bukele has achieved in El Salvador. Germany dropped the ball. Ireland will not. Using crypto, I plan on establishing a decentralized blueprint for sovereignty, one that others can also adopt to reclaim their nations. I will help to save Ireland. The world is watching. It's time for real change. Yo, Connor. Love it, buddy. That was absolutely amazing. Amazing. And what else do we have on the docket? We have someone just donated 300 Bitcoins to Ross Ulbricht. Okay. So $30 million. I think it was like 30 million, 15, something like that. Basically sent to Ross. So, by the way, I didn't cover any of the Ross stuff. I'm sorry. I listened to it. I saw it. He was very smooth. There's still part of me that thinks Ross is a psyop. I know. He was just way too smooth, calm, and collected. We appreciate you, Ross. This is nothing against him. Love you, Ross. We're so thankful that you're out of prison. If it was all real, again, probably was. I'm just saying there's a part of me that wonders if that was a psyop. But it was really cool to see that. Oh yeah, I got a letter from the Internal Revenue Service, yours truly, about reporting virtual currency transactions. Why we're writing you with information that you have or had one or more accounts containing virtual currency, but may have not known the requirements for reporting transactions involving virtual currency, which include cryptocurrency and non-crypto virtual currencies. What you need to do after reviewing that information below, if you believe you didn't accurately report your virtual currency transactions on a federal income tax return, you should file amended returns or delinquent returns. If you didn't file a return for one or more taxable years, if you did not accurately report your virtual currency transactions, you may be subject to future civil and criminal enforcement activity. Go eat a large, stinking bag of dicks, you criminal tyrants. We won't do it. I'm not doing it. GMoney's not doing it. And so that letter's going right into the trash. I don't even know how they're able to print this stuff. I thought Trump got rid of most of them. But anyways, fuck the IRS, fuck the Fed, and we'll just continue on, right? What else do we got, GMoney? How could I forget this? In Vegas, right? Badlands Media acquires Bitcoin as strategic stockpile to bolster cyber defensive capabilities using River. Badlands Media, an independent media network committed to truth, transparency, and digital sovereignty, today announced the acquisition of Bitcoin as a strategic stockpile to fortify its operations against the rising tide of cyber censorship and surveillance. This move positions Badlands Media as one of the first media organizations to leverage Bitcoin not merely as a treasury reserve, but as an apex asset, a resilient form of value and energy to preserve free speech, protect media integrity, and ensure interrupted access in and through cyberspace. We don't just report on the front lines of the information war, we operate on them, said GMoney, host of Rugpull Radio. That's right. GMoney said that. Yeah, double fuck'ems for the IRS. Fuck them. Fuck them. What else do we got? Let's see. Oh, Ross's his inmate card. Okay, so this is like the little card they give you when he was in jail. Sold for 11 Bitcoins, you guys. Like $1.1 million. How cool is that? Congrats to Ross. That was put on by Scarce City. Awesome. The folks at Scarce City put on an amazing art show. Appreciate those guys. What else did we do? We got that done. We got that done. I think we're to the rugs, actually. We did the rugs already? I think we're to the rugs. Oh, we got Max Kaiser. Our universe has an anti-universe twin moving backwards in time, study finds. Max Kaiser, the Bitcoin singularity is upon us. Interesting, right? Okay. We've got strange signal. It was Covfefe week last week. There was like Covfefe all over the place, right? We had Dan Scavino Jr. He did it, Covfefe. And then you had Wall Street Apes. I honestly still can't believe we actually did vote our way out of this. Hey, dumbass, you didn't vote your way out of this, right? And so, it was kind of funny watching the Magadonians cope on some of that stuff because we didn't vote our way out of it. We got a nice God King, don't get me wrong, but we're not quite out of the woods yet, as they say. Okay? We're seeing what's happening with all this other stuff. We had, what else do we have happen? Oh, this was interesting. So the day the frogs have a party, right? We're at the Tipsy Robot. We're drinking margaritas. We're giving double fuggums. Okay. And like half an hour later, Trump literally tweets himself, says he's on a mission from God. This is a meme. And nothing can stop what is coming. And there's a Pepe the Frog in the background, right? There's a little Pepe right there. You see him? See a little Pepe? If you zoom in, there's a little Pepe the Frog. And I thought that was kind of funny because why is Trump tweeting nothing can stop what is coming at Pepe the Frog the day of the Bitcoin conference when the frogs got together? I don't know. Maybe he's watching us. Maybe it's just a coincidence, you guys. I don't know. Let's see what else. We Pepified HODL. American HODL was Pepified at the Bitcoin conference. And the Bitcoin conference, they retweeted us in our Pepe shirts. And so if you guys don't think the Bitcoin conference and like David Bailey know about Pepe, all those guys are 100% in on Pepe the Frog. Okay. Let me just tell you, this isn't the shitcoin, right? This isn't the shitcoin. We had some little Bitcoiner get angry and storm off because he thought we were shitcoining. Anyways, retard, right? David Bailey is in on Bitcoin. He's bought a lot of the Pepe artwork. He bought the Caicius Maximus, by the way, the painting. I think he spent like 0.315 Bitcoin on it, funny enough. But they are 100% in on Pepe the Frog. Let's see. We did have our boy Trump talk about stockpiling weapons. And we had the DOD retweet it at 3:15 p.m. I don't know. That sounds like there might be a signal in the strongest military we've ever had. And the last time I think Trump used stockpile was probably to talk about Bitcoin at the Bitcoin conference. It's not a very common term used, I don't believe. And so what else do we got? We got the frogs. We got the Badlands. Sorry, guys. Like I said, the StreamYard shit is so annoying right now. We had, I like this. We had British HODL. Bitcoin is the real MAGA. And the world's richest man who just been chewed up by politics after donating $288 million to it and helping the side he thought could fix it win is one step away from admitting that defunding the power is only the real solution. Until then, all MAGA is nothing stops this train. The only way through is through. Turn on the printers. Just spend it on what I care about. Okay. And so British HODL's right. Bitcoin is the real MAGA, right? It's the only MAGA that counts. And Trump is the champion to bring us to the finish line. And he is, in fact, doing that. Props, Big Daddy Trump. Let's get to the rugs of the week. Of course, there was a couple rugs out there. Before I get to the rugs, we were looking for a Covfefe tweet from Trump, which he did give us. He gave us a 315, which I thought was cool. He gave us a Covfefe Trump numerology thing to where he literally he put up, let's see if I can find it. I think I didn't do it. Anyways, he put up a post and there was a 315 on May 31st in the post. It was about some budget deal, but it still had like 315. But he also did this. He also did the V. He tweeted himself with V. V is also 22, which is 1111. V is also victory, right? It's what they tweeted out at, when they won World War II, right? 2 dots and a dash. And then V is also like peace, right? Peace, brother. So it's V, victory, peace, 22, 1111. It all combines. That was like the coolest thing I think Trump could have done on Covfefe, was giving us the peace sign and giving us the hint, giving us the, hey, GMoney, I got your back on Covfefe, right? Because, but again, what did the Q-tards fall for? That was part of that tweet. It was that Joe Biden is a clone and he's dead and all this. Like Trump, like rug pulling his own Q-tards, but like leaving us that signal of the V, I thought was like actually pretty brilliant. And so thanks, Trump. We appreciate the comms. Even if they weren't comms to us, we understood the message, and the Q-tards, I think, got Q-tarded like usual. So that peace sign, the V for victory. Yeah, we get it, brother. We get the counterinsurgency, my friend. What other rugs did we have? Oh, we had the Trump wallet rug. Okay, by the way, this was pretty funny. So, like right after the conference, this site pops up about the Trump wallet. And of course, it has prominent in the wallet 1776. And guys, this was up for a while before anybody tweeted about it. Bitcoin News tweeted about it. All the major crypto accounts said this is a thing. This is a thing. But of course, what did they do? They got your name, or they got your email, your phone number, and your Twitter handle. Talk about a social engineering score, right? Email, phone number, Twitter handle. Look, I fell for it. I put my information in, but I have 2FA, get fucked. But I think they actually attacked my PayPal. I think my PayPal was like under attack the other day. Funny enough. So anyways, that was pretty good rug. And then this is the first time Barron, right? Barron Trump actually tweeted. First time Barron Trump tweeted is on 369. To be clear, our family has zero involvement with this wallet. Okay. And so Barron is on the board, folks. He made a couple subsequent tweets about it not being the wallet and him having nothing to do with it. We also had, what else did we have that was a rug? Oh, we had Trump rugged us too again. He had, I'm very pleased to announce that after all these years, I agree with Senator Elizabeth Warren on something. The debt limit should be entirely scraped to prevent an economic catastrophe. It is too devastating to put in the hands of political people that may want to use it, despite the horrendous effect it should have on our country and indirectly even the world. As to Senator Warren's second statement on the $4 trillion, I like that also, but it would have to be done over a period of time as short as possible. Let's get together, Republican and Democrat, and do this. Trump is going to turn on those printers, baby. And it's got to be funny. It's got to be hard for the Q-tards that don't understand Bitcoin, because they're like, well, he must be doing something with the dollar. It must be good if we're still printing more money. And these people, these idiots literally have no Bitcoin. And so it's like, I don't know, man. Get rugged. And then, of course, we had Elon. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Mark this post. The truth will come out. And so Elon with a absolute bomb on Trump, but we know it's a rug. Obviously, Trump had nothing to do with any of that stuff. He was on a couple of the flights. He never went to the island. And so it will be funny to see the Democrats force the Epstein files to come out. And then Trump goes, here you go. Here's all the files. By the way, I'm not included in any of those files. And so that's going to be pretty funny to see. I'm going to rug Saylor. Out of all, I didn't even bring up Saylor, because Saylor's speech was the most domesticated TradFi bro speech I've ever heard him say. I'm not dogging Saylor. I'm just saying number 13 was about compliance. Create the best company you can within the rules of the market. Okay. And so look, The speech was not targeted at us, right? We still love Michael Saylor. We're not dogging on Saylor. It's just like there wasn't a lot of signal in Saylor's speech. He was talking to the TradFi bros. He's talking to the corporations. He's talking to all those people to put Bitcoin on their treasure. He's fighting a different battle than we are, okay? But he's absolutely effective. And so props to Saylor. We're going to rug you a little bit just because it's Rugpull Radio, and we still love you. But we're not down with all the compliance from a rigged system to where individuals make laws that benefit them the most, that we can no longer actually have fair access to those systems. Okay. We do have Flynn. So Flynn chimes in, right? Flynn chimes in after Elon made that first post and said, look, it will not get better. The hogs are still at the trough and will refuse to move away from it. There are not enough honest people in Congress who are willing to stand up for the harder right thing, even at this stage of our monumental national debt. Of course, GMoney piles in and says, why are we still paying taxes to pedophiles? Okay, and so look, you can see they're all on the same team here. Flynn, Elon, Trump, right? And so it's a beautiful thing to see this thing come together. I love watching it come together. We got a rug, Matt Cratter. Right? So, like, guys, Peter Schiff is a Bitcoiner. I hate to if you guys think Peter Schiff is not a Bitcoiner, you're like literally retarded. Okay. Peter Schiff has a ton of Bitcoin. Okay. He's engagement farming. I don't know like how he keeps doing this thing. Who knows what kind of dirt they have on him or whatever, but he's still like running this line. And like Safety is like laughing with him, have fun staying poor. And here's Matt Cratter. You should have spit in his face instead. How many people has he kept away from Bitcoin with this terrible Bitcoin FUD over these years? One of the biggest losers around who fudded the greatest investment of our lifetime from the very beginning. Matt Cratter, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but Peter Schiff has brought way more people to Bitcoin than you and your dumb little videos. Okay? Love your videos. I still love you, bro. But reality is reality. And Peter Schiff like mops the floor with whatever you think you've done in the movement. Okay? And so like let's not be so angry. Like we're winning. Why is everybody so angry? We're like literally winning bigger and bigger and bigger every day. The Elon Trump FUD will spill over, even if it doesn't. It's exposing everything, you guys. So everybody just chill the hell out, right? Grab a cup of covfefe. Oh, we also had one more thing I forgot to bring up because my entire way that I organize my shit is all fucked up in StreamYard. But we do have Elon Musk talking about XChat is rolling out with encryption, vanishing messages, and the ability to send any kind of file. Also, audio video calling. This is built on Rust with Bitcoin-style encryption. Whole new architecture. You can do audio video calls without a phone number across all platforms. And look, we talked about Bitcoin being a communication system. It's a military encrypted communication system. And Elon's going to put that into X. Pretty cool. Pretty freaking absolutely cool. What else do we have? Oh, we forgot to do the Pepe of the week. Can't forget the Pepe of the week, bro. It's freaking Rugpull Radio. But again, my shit's all whack because of this. If you are new to Pepes and you want to understand the games of Trump, you want to understand Covfefe at a deeper level, you want to understand the Nakamoto card, come join us at the Pepe Project on Telegram. All the frogs are there to help you. We'll even send you a couple of free frogs to learn about it. Okay. And so our frog this week is Conspiratard. Limited issue 420 because all the conspiratards are going absolutely crazy. A paranoid shut-in that believes in almost all of the conspiracy theories on the internet. Cannot be spotted in the wild, instead seen roaming message boards and blogs attempting to spread their disease of paranoia. Sponsored by, and I don't know what it says down there, but this is another great piece by the legend, J-Dog. So J-Dog did this one. Thank you, J-Dog. It's a absolute banger of a Pepe. And this one is, there's 420 of these. They sell for about $250 right now. Okay, and so J-Dog, props to J-Dog for making these. He's doing a lot of awesome things with Counterparty and some other stuff. But that's all I had for you this week, Frogs. Was a pretty wild week. It's going to continue to get more and more crazy. So bat down the hatches, stack as many Fuggums, as many Satoshis as you can. And your boy G will be here next week to, continue the signal. Appreciate all of you guys that came to Vegas. Love you guys. We'll do it again. I think I'll also be coming to Deadwood in a couple of months. And so look out for the virtual tickets as well. I think it might be sold out, though, the actual event. But go to badlandsmedia.tv, check out the events page. And, we'll catch you guys next week. Shadalay.
Right, Bitcoin's a bank in cyberspace. Everybody. And that's the only strategy. And at the end of the day, you can tell everybody to go fuck themselves. You can put it in your head, memorize the freaking key, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, my Bitcoin, I lost it in a boating accident. If you push me too far, I lost it. It's gone. Sorry.
When money is controlled, money is corrupted. When money is controlled, money is corrupted. A long time ago, a dollar bill was backed by gold. Gold was rare and hard to mine, so it was hard to control. The government couldn't print more bills without mining gold to match. But what if they could secretly tax you behind your back?
How? Asking for a friend.
So the government just hitched the gold and made money out of thin air. At first nobody noticed, the people didn't care. So the government kept printing trillions of currency. And now inflation makes it so you can't afford groceries. When money is controlled, money is corrupted. When money is controlled, money is corrupted.
What about funding important stuff, like wars? Wouldn't you need to control the money for that?
Once upon a time, when a country went to war, they'd send the people a war tax if it was worth fighting for. If the fighting went on far too long, the people would revolt. I'm not paying for your stupid war, and you have lost my vote. Well, the government got sneaky. They knew just what they'd need. Instead of taxing for the war, they'd print that money secretly. Then wars could last for decades, and they could do just what they will, cause it's funded through inflation, and you can put the bill. When money is controlled, money is corrupted. When money is controlled, money is corrupted.
What about seizing money from terrorists? Shouldn't the government still control money to do that?
The government can seize their money from terrorists, it's true. But what if they determine that that terrorist is you? When a Canadian trucker convoy was protesting for their rights, thousands of people donated their dollars to the fight. But the Prime Minister of Canada really hated that protest. These peaceful truckers were honking, so he called them terrorists. He wanted to shut it down as they protested his laws, so he seized all of the money that was donated to the cause.
Oh, all the money except for one kind he couldn't control. Bitcoin!
When money is controlled, money is corrupted. When money is controlled, money is corrupted. When money is controlled, money is corrupted. When money is controlled, money is corrupted.
Want to know what I found out the other day?
What did you find out the other day?
Did you know the entire Earth is $315 trillion in debt?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Who do they owe money to?
Bro, who are they getting money from?
It blows my mind that first off, you have everything on the planet here to live for free.
You literally have everything you need.
And then you invent a system that creates a deterioration of your own resources.
You created a store of value that's literally storing less and less value every day. Every day.
And you're increasing your technology, and yet somehow you still owe money to someone, and it's $315 trillion. There's not enough paper to print that much cash. What are they doing?
Dude, Earth is like the worst meme coin. It's the worst.
It got rugged.
Earth got rugged.
Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up on this video. And a special thank you to all of our advertising partners. Please remember to shift your dollars to support those businesses that support Badlands Media.
Chardonnay, my friends.
Because you're living an illusion. I can't wait till it hits you. Recollection, your misconception. Obsessed, you say the green is successful. Material gain causes serious stress. More love, because you're living an illusion. Wake up now, yes, you're living in confusion. You're not a scholar, you're a waste of a teacher. Preach the dollars, you're a waste of a preacher. Love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, nah, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve. More love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, nah, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve now. Yep, you gotta see clearer. Clear on up, stay up and stay clear up. Go back to basics, look in the mirror. You're in a dream, wake up and now gear up. Come on, love, continually loving, that's realer. Make up your mind and emerge as a leader. Now it connects many, many all feed off. Rise up above, cause the youth stay feed off. Love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, nah, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve. More love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, nah, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve now. You gotta see clearer. Yep, you gotta see clearer. More love, come on, that's what we need. More love, that's what we need to succeed. Not dollars, nah, not what we need. Let's give them love so the youth can achieve now.